So here we go, everybody. Welcome to the Meet the Oppo series, the show where I'll get the lowdown, the insight on Town's next opponent. And today I'm joined by Liam Rice, the man making his debut on the series, the sports reporter for the Oxford Mail, covering all things Oxford United ahead of Town's clash with the U's. And of course, on Boxing Day at Portman Road, could be a jam-packed Portman Road. Looking forward to it. But Liam, thanks for joining me. How's things?
Good, yes. I'm very much looking forward to going back to Portman Road. I did the game last season actually, so should be a special atmosphere, especially on Boxing Day.
Indeed, who's gonna enjoy the rest of their Christmas with hopefully a win? We'll wait and see. Let's recap then, Liam. Oxford's season so far. We'll get on to, of course, last season's games because there were draws, and especially the game at Oxford was a very interesting one. But 15th in League One at the moment, Oxford, 21 games played, won 6, drawn 8, lost 7. How would you recap it as a whole as we get into the pretty much the midway point of the season?
Yeah, it's kind of been a season of two halves almost. The sort of first quarter of the actual season, very slow, very sort of tepid. They've sort of found themselves hovering above the relegation zone, never quite getting dragged into it. But then they've gone on this sort of 10-game unbeaten run in all competitions since then. Not too many wins, a lot of draws in that run, but they do look a difficult side to beat now, rather than maybe early in the season when they were, losing those games. They have sort of turned them into draws.
Yeah, because I will admit, when I was looking at the table a few weeks back and thinking, wow, Oxford are down below there, but sometimes the table can lie. The last two results against Oxford, of course, were draws, the 0-0 draw at Portman Road and then the 1-1 draw at the Kassam. And of course, that was a great day for Town in terms of the game as a whole, performance-wise. Of course, Bursley scoring a great goal, and then out of nowhere, Oxford last-minute equaliser, and everyone was deflated. What is the current mood of Oxford fans? Karl Robertson, what's been said at the moment?
I think at the moment things are quite sort of steady again. Going back to when results weren't going their way and they were sort of losing a lot of the games. There was a sort of small but maybe vocal minority sort of questioning Robinson's future, but that does sort of seem to have gone now. I think, like I say, once you can't go on a 10-game unbeaten run and be calling for the manager, can you? So I think you've also got to bear in mind Oxford United are perennially slow starters anyway, even when they've made the playoffs and even when they pushed last year and sort of narrowly missed out on that top 6. They've always started slowly, so maybe perhaps slower than usual, but who knows? Is this sort of 10-game unbeaten run the start of something as they go into the new year, where they can sort of push up the table?
Yeah, I looking back at results, the draw specialists. I think I was speaking to a Fleetwood fan a few weeks back when we played them, and they were draw specialists as well. But Oxford are very much like that as well. Let's talk then, Liam, about the key players, and the last 11 against Sheffield Wednesday, of course, was a 0-0 draw against them at, of course, Hillsborough. So probably a good result for Oxford's point of view. But players here, and yeah, what was because Sheffield Wednesday are up there as well, just like us in the top 6. What was that game like?
Well, I think United will be frustrated they didn't win it, to be honest. They had more than enough chances to sort of finish the game off, and then to miss or to see a penalty saved in the 96th minute will hurt, because not many teams are going to go to Hillsborough and pretty much play them off the park and leave with nothing. You'd want to think they would take those 3 points. Henry also missed a big chance sort of 6 yards out, goal gaping with about 10 minutes to go. And there were a number of chances before that. The last 10 minutes were kind of quite frantic and end to end, and both teams could have nicked it. But like I said, yeah, that missed penalty will be something that a bitter pill to swallow. But games now over Christmas do sort of come around quick, so that'll be behind them. The team itself, against at Sheffield Wednesday, can't see there been a massive sort of uprooting in changes to that. There'll obviously be a little tinkerings. The big question mark will be on Cameron Brannigan. He's United's sort of key man, but it needs no introduction, I'm sure, to to any fans in League One. But yeah, he sort of went off just before the hour mark. He sort of went into a crunching challenge, then shot from 25 yards, and it was a few minutes later when he sort of finally had to be withdrawn. So we'll sort of speak to Karl Robinson tomorrow at the presser and sort of see what the latest is on that front. But he's one of them players. I think if there's a 1% chance he'll play, he'll absolutely be starting, or certainly in the squad. But otherwise, I wouldn't really expect any other changes to that side that got a point at Hillsborough.
Okay, we'll wait and see. I want to quickly talk about Matty Taylor because he's normally the man scoring the goals, but he's not been scoring that many goals this season. Any changes to his style of play, or it's just one of those seasons where it's just not scoring at the moment?
Well, a bit of both. I think he's always been a striker that has purple patches. He's always been one where he'll, go on a run without scoring, then all of a sudden he'll score 10 in 10. But he seems to have sort of a little bit like maybe Harry Kane does with Spurs and England. He sort of seems to be getting frustrated and dropping back into sort of into the midfield more to try and get on the ball. When, as we know, he's a fox in the box, isn't he? He's a real poacher. So there is that. There's also the element of question marks over whether United's wingers, he's a player who relies on good service from the wings, whether that's there at the moment. You'd probably say this season the only out and out winger who's got that real sort of speed and quality is probably Marcus Brown. Billy Bowden and James Henry are different kinds of players. Obviously very good creative players, but so maybe there is that. So you factor in when with Josh Murphy and Yannick Wildschut now sort of finally fit and firing. They both sort of came off the bench at Hillsborough. So if you can get that service around him, he'll score goals. There's no doubt about it. It's just probably a very frustrating season for him so far, though.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, it's still early days. Sometimes some good scoring runs can happen in the second half of the season when a lot of games, a lot of points are there to be won. Let's talk then about the game itself. Last time at Portman Road, Borough and Oxford got chanted. Karl Robertson's sides, we know all about it. Of course, Oxford do want to play football as well, but I feel like every time we play Ipswich, it's just one of those games where they just, what can we expect?
Yeah, I think it seems to be that thing of there are some teams where where teams maybe go into their shell or into a sort of not defensive mode, but that kind of resilient mode more. Oxford United over the past few years under Karl Robinson have been known for for their attacking flair and intent. They score a lot of goals, and if anything, it's actually funnily enough this season where they've maybe not shown that. They have become a tougher side to beat. That's sort of evident in this unbeaten run. And yeah, they've become more, not what you would possibly expect from a Robinson side. Sort of gritty, hard-working. It's just about taking chances. Like I say, the Sheffield Wednesday game could easily have finished 4-4, but it finishes 0-0, and maybe if you go to last season, that game probably does finish 3-2 to Oxford. What can we expect from them? Yeah, I think more of the same that they've been this season. They'll be tough to get past. They'll be tough to beat, and there will be opportunities in attack. It's just a question mark this season. Can they take them?
Indeed, and let's talk then how you're feeling then, Liam, going to Portman Road. As you said, big crowd, Boxing Day. I'm sure the players won't be doing what we're going to be doing, a lot of Christmas dinner and maybe a few little drinks here and there. But it's great to have Boxing Day game back again. Of course, last year Town didn't have one because of COVID. So how are you feeling, Oxford travelling to Portman Road?
Yeah, I think if they weren't on this unbeaten run, you would think you might be a bit sort of scared or fearful for them, but I don't think that's the case. I think that they've seemed in this run, they've played their best against the bigger team. They won 3-1 at Bolton, 0-0 draw obviously at Hillsborough. So can they go to Ipswich and get a win? I mean, of course you're going to take that. You're going to take a draw. I think I'd be quite optimistic that maybe another draw could be on the cards, which looking back, you would say is obviously a fantastic result, wouldn't you?
Not for Town fans. We've had a lot of draws against Oxford in the past. Of course, a lot of 0-0s, and not many goals scored. Hopefully, Boxing Day, it will just be one of those days where loads of goals are scored. I think that's what everyone's hoping because the last 5 results, it's been all draws and one defeat. Of course, Oxford got the only one win out of those last 5 games against Town. But yeah, Liam, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to those Boxing Day games. I'm sure yourself. You always look forward to those.
Yeah, of course. Like you said it earlier, it's one of those things, isn't it, where we've had the past couple of years where with even with football without fans and with no stadium and stuff. But yeah, I think it's always a special occasion, isn't it? We'll also obviously, I think, have the Premier League will be back as well, so it'll feel like English football is sort of back again, Boxing Day. And there's always that sort of element of there's always a few games that go a bit bonkers on Boxing Day, and maybe fingers crossed it can be at Portman Road.
Indeed, we shall wait and see. Well, Liam, thanks so much for joining me. Any other business, any other notes you want to mention, any other little sneak peeks we should look into for the Oxford side?
No, not really. I think, like I say, they've sort of mixed it up a little bit this year. They played with a back three, but at the beginning of the season, they certainly won't do that. Or I should probably not for Boxing Day. But they've sort of shifted between a sort of 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. But otherwise, I think it's set up nicely to be hopefully a Christmas cracker.
Hopefully, mate. If not, it will be a goalless draw and it will be one of those boring days. But then we'll enjoy our Christmas leftovers and everything like that. But looking forward to it. Thanks, Liam, for joining me. If you're going to the game, enjoy. If you're not, make sure to follow the game with us. And also check out Liam as well at the Oxford Mouth, all the content for Oxford United. Bring it on. Bye-bye for now.